Welcome to this week's 5-Minute Mediumship video, and this week I wanted to look at why everything that we experience within an aspect of blending with the contact, delivering the communication, is part of the experience. So in this week's video I wanted to look at that aspect really of the fact that nothing that we experience within blending with the contact and delivering the communication is a mistake or a coincidence. So very often when we are working and we're in that process, we have a contact with us and we're delivering that sense of communication, we're relaying information to their loved one, we can be aware on a very subtle level that we don't pay attention to of a variety of things. And it's important to remember that when we are blended and working with a contact, our energy is actually immersed in the experience of the contact. So a little bit like the last video that I shared about perception versus communication, what we need to be aware of is that as we're blended, our energy is immersed in the experience of the contact, and our energy is firing in a variety of ways at different times and in different situations with different resonances. So it may be that as you're working with a contact and you're striving to understand a piece of communication, your eye is taken to a picture on the wall, or your eye is taken to a word that's on a plaque, and sometimes we think that's not part of the communication, it's not part of the process. And in the respect of it being direct communication, no, it's not direct communication, but it is a part of the experience of the contact. It's part of the experience we're having because our energy is blended. We are immersed in that experience with the contact. And so if our awareness is being taken to a picture on a wall, to a word, plaque, if we're working in somebody's house, for instance, or in a garden somewhere, and our attention is being constantly taken to a particular flower, perhaps a rose bush or something like that, that might not be direct communication, but it is our awareness being influenced by the energy of the contact. And so you'll very often find that if you say, well, actually my attention is being drawn by those yellow roses, you would understand the significance of the yellow roses. You'll very often find that the recipient says, yes, I understand that. And then as you take your awareness to the yellow roses, you'll find that you're able to actually achieve more information about their significance and about the importance of them at that moment in time, and why the contact and the experience of the contact is supporting you giving that information. In the same way that if you were to see a plaque on a wall somewhere and your eyes were constantly taken to it, if you were to relay those words, you would find that they had meaning either to the recipient or in connection with the contact at that moment in time. Very often when we're working, we are looking for information, and very often we forget that our experience is receiving the our energy is receiving the influence of the experience that we are immersed in at that time. And so when we're blended with a contact, when we're communicating and relaying their information to them, to the loved one, nothing that we experience in that moment, those 5 minutes, those 10 minutes, that half an hour, nothing is a mistake. There is a relevance to everything. Now, we obviously can't give our attention and our awareness to everything and relay absolutely everything, because that might take a 7-minute platform message and make it a 20-minute private sitting. However, when our awareness, when we are being made aware of something, continuously, that is an indication that it's responding to and influencing our energy. So we should pay attention to it. We should class it as part of that experience of the contact, and we should give it to enable us to then work with it and to identify and support relaying to the recipient the relevance that it holds.